everybody, Erica Serwin here from Pink Bucker Designs. I've got a really fun and cute card for you today. It's kind of a fun fold, if you will. I'm going to show you how to make this. Pretty easy, but there is some fussy cutting. I'm using the Turtle Friends stamp set and the matching punch. So the punch will punch our big turtle out, but not our little turtle. So we'll have to fussy cut those as well as our little hat. Okay, let's put our card together first. There's lots of pieces here. I'm not going to shout out all the measurements to you. If you will click the link here on YouTube and go over to my blog, you will find all the measurements on a PDF for you, okay? I am using the beautiful Sweet Symmetry Designer Series paper. If you are watching this in July of 2021, it is on sale. So make sure you grab it. It's one of my favorites in the catalog. So I've got a Just Jade card base. Basically, it's a normal card base that I've cut off some of it. I believe it's 8 inches across and you scored at 5.5. Now we're gonna put another piece of that beautiful Designer Series paper right here in the front. Okay, now this part is gonna go inside like that. So we need a piece of basic white to go here, and we need a piece of Flirty Flamingo to go on the front. This is going to mat our white piece, and I'm not going to put our white piece down quite yet. Well, that'll be the last thing that we do. All right, so now I'm going to take this, put some Stampin' Seal on it, and I'm going to center it right here in the back. Okay, like that, so that this comes in and this goes in like that. All right. Okay, now let's make our turtles. We're going to stamp the big guy in Just Jade on Just Jade cardstock. All right, we're also going to stamp the little segments in his shell. When you stamp with this, ink it very lightly. It's a pretty shallow photopolymer stamp, and it will get ink in between those colors if you're not careful. Now I'm going to stamp each of the babies once on the Just Jade cardstock, and I'm going to stamp them on another piece of the Sweet Symmetry Designer Series paper. Their shells are going to be Flirty Flamingo. Okay, and then the last thing that we're going to stamp is the little party hat. And we're going to stamp that in Memento. Okay, let's color our hat, and then we will start all of our cutting. I'm just going to cut or stamp or color 2 of the stripes here. Okay, with Flirty Flamingo Stampin' Blend. Now the big guy is easy. I'm going to punch him out. Get him lined up, make sure his nose and his tail are lined up. Punch him out like that. Now for our fussy cutting, I'm going to grab my paper snips. And the first thing you want to do is cut off all that extra cardstock. Okay, I'm going to cut both of them out pretty small. Get all that extra out. Then I'm going to very carefully start going around. And I'm going to keep my scissors on the outside of that green line. Okay, so he's going to have just a little bit of an outline around his body. Cut off that extra as you're going. Notice I'm turning with my left hand, cutting with my right hand. I'm not turning my scissor hand at all. I'm just turning the left hand, turning the turtle. Okay, now to get in here, we're going to have to be very careful. There we go. Okay, and then I'll switch over to one of the shells so that you can see how I'm going to do this part. This time I'm going to stay pretty close to that green line. I don't want a whole lot of border around it because we're gonna put it on his shell and we want it to match up. All right, so then just grab a dimensional. I think a baby dimensional is the best. And put it right there. Well, I've got a little hanging on piece. And we'll put his shell right there. All right, now I'm gonna do the rest and come back so you don't have to watch me cut all of these out. Okay, we've got them all cut out. I'm gonna take that birthday hat and put just a tiny little dot of glue there. And we'll put that right on our big turtle. Okay, there. Now for our sentiment, we're going to do two things. We're going to stamp part of it in Flirty Flamingo, and then we're going to stamp the other part over on Misty Moonlight. We're going to stack our turtles up on top of those words. So I think I'll do that first. And you want to get a Post-it note, or you know what, I'm going to use my Post-it tape to mask off each time. This time I'm going to mask off, sorry, I was late. Okay, and we're going to ink that. And let's make sure you can turn it around and make sure you've got everything covered. Let's see, I think I need to go a little bit higher so I can get that dot on the eye. There we go. All right, ink it up, pull off your tape, and stamp it about an inch from the bottom. All right. Now I'm going to put my turtles on. We're going to stack them up. So let's see. Let's start with our big turtle. I always think this is the mama turtle. So there's the mama. And then we'll put the babies. And since I popped up the babies with dimensionals, their shells, I am going to glue them flat since they already have that dimension on them. All right, we'll put that guy right there. And that guy right there. Maybe they're girls. I don't know. They're cute though. All right, now let's do the second part of our sentiment. This time, we're going to mask off the top part. So let me get my tape again. And I'm going to mask right here, that top piece. Okay, let's take a look at it. And we're cutting this out with a framelit or a die that's going to match the word. So your masking isn't terribly important for this part, but it'll just make it a little bit easier. All right, so craft white. All right, whoop, don't forget to take your tape off. Right there. Sorry, I was slow. And we're gonna get some white embossing powder. Now you can see right there, it did stamp some of that sentiment from before. If you have that problem, because I didn't clean it, just take a paintbrush and brush it off. Now we're going to hit it with a heat tool. This is going to make that ink and powder activate. And it'll be kind of shiny and a little bit puffy. You'll know when it's done. You'll be able to tell. It's bright white. There we go. We're going to cut this out with the matching shape, which is the message die. I love the message die. I'm going to use this one right here. So let's see. My paper's a little bit rounded since we hit it with the heat. So I'm going to tape it down, and then I'm going to get my die, and I got to move it over. Let's move it over to the left. Get that die and line it right there. If you're worried about your die moving, you can also put a piece of Post-it tape right on the die. Okay, now a couple of mini dimensionals again. And we'll put that right below. Sorry, I was slow. All right, now we're ready to add it. We're almost done. We're going to take some Stamp & Seal and put that down. Now I did add a little bit of ribbon. So this is our new Just Jade ribbon, and I'm just going to cut off a tiny piece like that. And I'm going to fold it in half like that. And it's probably even a little bit too long, so I'm going to cut that off. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of Tombow and slide it under here like that. Let's do both sides. Take your ribbon. I'm putting it behind the Flirty Flamingo piece. And smush it. All right. And then we're going to add just a tiny white twine bow. And that's going to be kind of like the lifting tab. Okay. And I'm just going to add that with a mini glue dot. Take your pick tool and just take that off and lay it right there. And there you have it, a super cute belated birthday card that is a little bit of a fancy fold to make it extra special. All right, I hope you enjoyed this project. Make sure you hop over to my blog and grab the PDF that is free with all those measurements, as well as check out the other two Turtle Friends projects. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.